Hi everyone, this is Tisch Aitken, and it is May 11th, 2021, and it is officially the new moon in Taurus. Please don't look at my nails, but look at my crystals. And it is the new moon in Taurus. And this is very exciting news because the moon halted in the earth sign of Taurus. It is still Taurus season, not for much longer, but the sun is in the fixed earth sign of Taurus, which is ruled by Venus. And this new moon officially launches eclipse season because at the end of this month, we will have a lunar eclipse, actually a total lunar eclipse, that takes place on May 26th, 2021 at 5 degrees and 26 minutes of the mutable fire sign of Sagittarius. And that will bring a lot of things to light for all of us, a lot of energy right now. But as I speak, we are in the new moon energy, and this is what we want to focus on. This is a very abundant and fertile new moon. This new moon is exalted, as I mentioned. It forms a beautiful trine to Pluto, which is the planet of empowerment and transformation. It also forms what's known as a sextile to Neptune, and that's an aspect of opportunity. Neptune is the ruler of the sign of Pisces, which I will get into in a minute because Pisces plays a big part of this week as well. So if we look at this new moon chart, the new moon is at 21 degrees and 18 minutes of the fixed earth sign of Taurus. Look to see where 21 minutes of Taurus falls in your chart and try to do some kind of a ritual to honor this new moon. It's working with the dream. It's forming a good aspect to Neptune, which is solidifying the dream because Taurus is a fixed earth sign, bringing things to form, bringing it, growing it, bringing it to life. It forms a trine to Pluto, transforming and up-leveling your intentions, helping you to release what you need to purge in order to clear and make space for what you want to manifest. And this new moon is a beautiful new moon. Now, we recently had Mercury and Venus both enter the sign of Gemini. Mercury entered the mutable air sign of Gemini on May 3rd, and it's going to be there until July 11th. And it could feel like Mercury is retrograde right now because it's out of bounds, which means that it exceeds the sun's path, and so by declination, and it's not playing by the rules. It's out of control. Mercury loves being in Gemini, but it can be very tricky. Mercury is the trickster of the zodiac, and this is going to bring us a lot of information and clues and tales with Mercury in Gemini for over 2 months. It's out of bounds until May 25th, which happens to be the day before the lunar eclipse. So we know that Mercury is in its strong position. It's in its rulership in Gemini in this new moon chart today. The new moon occurred at 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And the new moon has Virgo ascendant, which means that Mercury is the ruler of the new moon chart if I cast it for Washington, D.C. And Mercury is out of bounds. It's also conjunct the north node of fate. A lot of emphasis on partnering and connecting and learning, getting involved in your local community. This new moon is very much about planting things, if you're working at all with plants or gardens, or there's one thing that there was a video I watched of somebody, I liked the recommendation of taking a clear quartz point and holding your intention. I'm not going to use this one because this is big, and I like that clear quartz point, and it would probably demolish my plant, but a small one hold the intention. It's proven that clear quartz holds intentions. Be very specific of what you want to manifest. Clear space today. Open the windows, burn Palo Santo or sage or incense. Get rid of some clutter, even if it's getting rid of a couple of pieces of paper or putting aside a couple of pieces of clothing that you either are going to donate or give to a friend. Get rid of energy. Get rid of some email that you have in your inbox that you need to delete. Clear space. Get rid of the space to clear space to bring more manifestation in. And the clear quartz point really is positive for holding intentions. If you happen to have that crystal, if you don't worry about it. Choose the crystal or whatever you wish to help you to manifest, but definitely do something to honor this new moon. It's an excellent day for doing the law of abundance, and I wrote an article about it, but I'll just briefly say what it is. So you date the check for today. If you don't have a physical checkbook, they have them on the internet. You can print the image, or you can do a facsimile. You can imitate the image and create it on a piece of paper. So date it for May 11th, 2021, where it says pay to the order of. Write down your full name. Where that small numeric box is, leave it blank. On the next line, where you normally would print the dollar amount, print paid in full. And at the bottom of the check, where you normally would sign your name, sign the law of abundance. And this is a great way of bringing in prosperity and spiritual abundance in many different forms. This is a very fertile moon because Venus rules the moon in Taurus, and it sextiles Neptune, which is the higher octave of Venus. So again, this is such a creative new moon. The sun, the moon, and Uranus are all still in the fixed earth sign of Taurus. Now we have Mercury out of bounds, acting nuts in Gemini, giving us lots of information, lots of stories. Mercury will retrograde at the end of the month. This month is going to be insane. So it's going to retrograde on May 29th at 24 degrees and 43 minutes of the mutable air sign of Gemini. And then it will station direct on June 22nd at 16 degrees of Gemini. So by the time of May 22nd, Mercury will get as far as 16 degrees of Gemini, which means it's getting to its shadow. So pay attention now, and especially as we get further along in the month of May, of what's coming up for you. What are the stories around work, around your relationships? Lots of communication. Mercury is the planet of communication. Even in this new moon chart, it's very much about honoring love and beauty, because Venus rules the new moon, but Mercury rules the ascendant. Mercury is conjunct the north node of fate. Venus, which is the ruler of the new moon, is in Gemini. So a lot of Gemini energy. And, you know, it's going to be the eclipses in the Sagittarius-Gemini axis. So that's another thing that's at play for all of us, because, again, at the end of this month, there's a lunar eclipse on May 26th at 5 degrees and 26 minutes of Sagittarius. Mercury retrogrades on May 29th at 24 degrees of Gemini, giving us lots of information, lots of connection, great time for networking, a lot of ghosts from your past resurfacing, whether hearing from people from the past, reconnecting with people you worked with, maybe you're networking to look for a job, maybe people are reaching out to you. Could be ideas that you're working with that maybe you put on the back burner. Great time to go back to school, to brush up and take workshops, to teach workshops, to connect and network. We're in this new age of Aquarius, time to really get focused on the local community. As of May 20th, the sun will enter the sign of Gemini. So we don't have the sun in Taurus for much longer. And then, it's going to be a lot of mutable energy. But the other headliner act of this week, this new moon is great. This is beautiful. And it's a lunation that now begins officially the eclipse season. Although in my feeling, I feel we already were in eclipse season because we had the full moon in Scorpio, and I feel it really started with that intensity. But now we really are in it. The next lunar event will be an eclipse, and we have Mercury out of bounds. We also have the Mars, which is the planet of action and how we get things going and how we make things happen, out of bounds in its detriment in the cardinal water sign of Cancer. That is emotionally based action. So while people might be saying things that could be either brilliant or they could sound like they're off their rocker or both, people could actually also be taking action in very impulsive ways or emotionally induced. So also bear that in mind in your own decisions. And the big event is that Jupiter, which is the biggest planet and is my favorite planet because it happens to rule my chart, but it actually changes signs and enters the mutable water sign of Pisces. And this occurs on May 13th at 6:36 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. This is a beautiful celestial event. In ancient astrology, Jupiter ruled the sign of Pisces, and it's expanding through feeling your emotions, through tapping into source and into your dreams, through trusting your intuition, through reaching out and communing through compassion and empathy. Jupiter in Pisces, I feel, will bring and lend a more creative renaissance to this new age of Aquarius, which is very innovative and brilliant energy, but it's cold, cerebral, clinical, computer-like thinking. It rules technology. Now we have Jupiter in the most emotional and most psychic and intuitive of the water signs, Pisces, limitless, boundless, and free. And so, can you picture what will be so limitless and free? Well, that is Jupiter and Pisces. Better picture it because it's coming up this week, and it's exciting. It's going to be confusing, and you're going to be meandering in many different directions, mentally, physically. People are going to be all over the place, but this is a great time to get out there and really learn something new, take some risks. This has been a crazy time. Connect with people. This is a time for the artists and the musicians and the writers to help bring some beauty to the sadness. And I think it's possible. I think we're going to see a real creative renaissance going on. I really do. I felt this all along because I have never seen Jupiter transit an entire sign by the middle of the year and enter another sign for a few months, which it will. It will transit in Pisces until July 29th. It'll get as far as 2 degrees of Pisces. It will station retrograde on June 20th, and then it re-enters the sign of Aquarius on July 29th. And then in October, it will station direct at 22 degrees of the fixed air sign of Aquarius. Aquarius is community, it's brilliance, and it's connection. Pisces is limitless love. It's empathy. Boy, do we need that right now. So, with this new moon, I want you to tap into what you love, what you want to manifest, what you want to create. I noticed people were in bad moods today, which I found kind of ironic because this is such a beautiful and fertile and creative new moon. But today Mars is squaring Chiron, the wounded healer. People could be a little bit irritable or agitated, and I have witnessed that and noticed it. But it also sextiles Uranus, which brings solutions to how you can deal with your anger or your angst. And with that, I say to you, we've got a big month ahead. We've got an eclipse coming up. We have Saturn at its degree where it's stationing retrograde. It is now at 13 degrees of Aquarius. It retrogrades on May 23rd, and then it will station direct on October 10th at 6 degrees of Aquarius. This is a time of reassessing what you've been working with since the Aquarian story officially began on the winter solstice, when Saturn and Jupiter met up at 0 degrees of Aquarius. We have Mercury retrograding at the end of the month, and we have a Jupiter expanding the magic. And on this new moon, I leave you with that, and thank you.